Hello, everyone. Today I've got a really beautiful story to share with you. It's called Avery and Michael the Sea Turtle, and it's all about a very, very special friendship and an even bigger lesson.
So, it all really kicks off with this one big question, and it's at the heart of the whole story. Can a simple promise really, truly change everything? Let's dive in and find out together.
All right, so our story begins in the most wonderful way you can imagine, with a girl and a turtle.
First, let's meet Avery. She's this young girl who lives in a cozy little house right by the sea. And for her, a good day starts with that warm, familiar smell of a Louisiana breakfast, boudin sizzling on the stove. But Avery's kindness, it wasn't just something she felt at home. She really tried her best to share it with everyone at school. And that effort, well, it made her feel proud deep down inside.
Well, then one afternoon, something absolutely magical happens. Avery's just walking by the shore, and this sea turtle, he has this shiny green shell and these super bright eyes, swims right up to her. And he just says, simply, hello. And just like that, an amazing friendship begins.
And so this incredible friendship started to blossom by the sea. But this wasn't just any old friendship. This one was built on sharing stories and some pretty big feelings too.
Every single day after school, Avery would go and meet the turtle. His name, by the way, was Michael. And they talked about everything. Avery would tell him all about her day and her biggest dreams. And Michael, he'd share what life was like under the sea. And he also shared something really personal, how sometimes he got, well, really confused by his big feelings.
And their bond went so deep. See, Michael wasn't always easygoing. Sometimes he was super playful, hiding behind seaweed just to jump out and surprise Avery. But other times, he could get pretty angry and grumpy when things didn't go his way. And this right here is what made their friendship so incredible. Avery didn't run away. She would just sit with him, quietly, until all those big feelings started to settle down. And that quiet understanding, it meant more to Michael than he could ever say.
And that brings us right to the heart of the story. A really, really difficult question. Because Avery suddenly has to make a choice. A choice between having what she wants and truly helping her best friend.
One afternoon, Michael looks at her, and he's totally serious, and he says, I want to go home with you. Can you just imagine Avery's heart in that moment? She loves this turtle more than anything, but she knows this one simple, hard fact: sea turtles, they can't live on land. She doesn't want to lose him, but she doesn't want him to get hurt either.
That night, Avery's just lying awake in bed. Her mind is racing, and she's wrestling with this huge question. What does love really mean? Is it about holding on to someone as tight as you can, or is it about doing what's best for them, no matter what it costs you?
And all of that thinking, it leads her right to this huge realization. The moment where Avery discovers the true meaning of kindness and finally finds her answer.
The next day, when she meets Michael at the shore, her mind is made up. Even though every single part of her wants to take him home forever and ever, she gets it. She understands the reality. She has to choose his safety over her own wish to keep him close.
And right there, in that moment, Avery learned what true kindness really is. It's not just about being nice when things are easy. No, it's about choosing what is genuinely best for someone else, especially when it's the hardest choice you could possibly make for yourself.
So what happens after this incredibly difficult decision? Well, this brings us to the beautiful ending, a promise kept, which creates a brand new kind of forever for Avery and Michael.
After Avery explains that he needs to stay in the water to be safe and healthy, Michael is quiet for a really long time. And then he asks this one tiny, vulnerable question that just shows how much he needs her. Will you really come back tomorrow?
And Avery's promise, it's perfect. It's not a promise to own him or keep him. It's a promise to be there for him. Yes, she says, and her voice is just full of certainty. Tomorrow and the day after and as many days as I can. That is their new commitment. Their new forever.
And this decision, it has this incredible effect on Avery. You'd think making the hard, kind choice would leave her feeling sad, but no, it leaves her feeling unbelievably strong. The very next morning, she feels this new steadiness inside herself, and when she gets on that school bus, she knows exactly who she is and, more importantly, who she wants to be.
And this wasn't just a one-time thing. Their whole friendship transformed. They started choosing this deeper kind of kindness every single day. Avery started choosing it not just with Michael, but at school and even with herself.
And Michael, he chose kindness too. And this daily promise to each other helped both of them grow into this quiet confidence they never even knew they had.
So as we wrap up this beautiful story, I want to leave you with something to think about. The story of Avery and Michael, it's about a very specific, very powerful kind of choice. And it leaves us with this question. When is the last time you chose real kindness over what was just easy or convenient? It's a pretty powerful idea to think about. Thanks for listening.